Meeting is called to order at 5:08. Roll call. Alice?
Alice McDonald.
Patsy Adams, Warnock.
Thomas Garcia.
Carol Peterson?
Josh Whisper.
Alita Bowman.
Andrea is running a little bit late. I call for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I would like to note that we do have a quorum at this point. Okay, this is the time for public comment. Up to 3 minutes per person. We have 30 minutes set aside for this. Do I have anybody who would like to have a moment to speak to us?
I guess I could.
Could you give your name and address, please, and let us know if you're city or county?
My name is Mary Tompkins, 3809 East Highway 124, Prescott. It's about 5 miles west of Prescott. I'm county. Okay. Gotta think of all these things. I would like to tell you how excited I was when I heard where we're building the new library administrative office. I think it was a stroke of genius, and you people are all to be commended for that. I thought that that big announcement would stop the erroneous and much false information that seems to float around, but I think I was wrong about that part, but maybe it will shortly. I hope so. Anyway, but thank you for doing that. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Sometimes if enough things go through life, you just end up in the right place at the right time.
I guess that's true.
Okay, anybody else?
I'll go next. I'm trying to see if someone's going to stand up at the same time.
Okay.
My name is Laura Schnick. I'm at 715 Southeast Heron in College Place. So that city, but not the city y'all are talking about, I'm sure. I am very excited to hear where the new admin building is going to be because it's really close to my house. But also the article that you wrote, Alita, in the paper a while back explaining how all the people that are county down there that I didn't realize would now have a place to go too. So that's another reason why I think it's a great idea. I'm also really excited to have the opportunity to work at Prescott now. I'm the new branch manager there, so I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
I'll speak. My name's Kimberly Creech. I live in the city of Prescott. When I come so far, I want to make sure that I speak because, anyways, I really appreciate all the work that you all are doing, and it was so fun to be at the meeting this last time because I felt like I was watching some history unfold as you guys made the decision to buy the property, and we got to see what's going to happen there, and it's just so wonderful, and I'm very excited about it. And I wanted to tell you I've been a little bit busy over the last month because I've written a couple letters to the editor, one kind of critical of the luck and just pointing out that I really feel that they need to work on their own stuff instead of attacking you guys and trying to take away what you're doing. And the other was critical of the UB for not sending any reporters to get the real story from you guys, and I don't think I see any UB reporters today either, so evidently they really don't care about getting the accurate story from you guys. But I just want to encourage you to press on. I'm excited about what you're doing. I can't wait till you start building in Prescott soon, I think, and yeah, press on. You're doing well.
Thank you.
I'm Susan Seagraves, and I live at 6158 East Highway 124 in Prescott. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for all the hard work that you've done and for enduring all the bullying and harassing and intimidation that you have gone through. I think you're an inspiration to everybody for how you've handled everything. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Moving onward. Time to approve our minutes. Which would take a motion from somebody.
I read it. I move that we approve the minutes of the board meeting March 11th, 2013.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes for the board meeting March 11th, 2013. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. It's time for financial.
The first thing on the financial reports is the expenditure status report for April, which I sent to everyone, and which I will project on the screen, but I wonder, Madam Chair, if you would like to wait for
Yes,
Andrea to arrive.
Yes.
For that.
yes, I would.
Okay, and we could do the review and signing of vouchers, however.
Okay.
I would defer to Alice for that.
Those
And
numbers
I
are,
might point out that the green sheet is the capital expenditures. And on that green sheet is the expenditure for the Tushy property. And it's included in whatever motion you'll make. Let's see, where's the, however, it will officially be
I've
approved
lost my
later
brain.
in the meeting. Okay, so here you are, Alice.
but I
There we
don't see
go.
numbers.
Here,
Oh, he's just got
there's the instructions. And this number includes the thing, but we're gonna do it again later in the meeting when we actually get to the property.
So I'm approving, I'm making a motion to approve the vouchers numbered 216 to 285 in the amount of $76,267.49. And, or not.
You might as well.
And
It won't
all
hurt.
capital expenditures, which total $82,064.61.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Need a second for that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we,
216 to 285.
yeah, it's easier, thank you.
It's numbers.
Pay vouchers 216 to 285 in the amount of $76,276.49.
And if anyone wants to look over the vouchers that Alice has vetted for us, you might want to, because they did not come in your online packet, because they're always done at the last minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Madam Chair, if you want to give them a moment to just glance through if there
Yes.
are any questions or
Okay.
comments.
No problem. Where's the,
Again, there.
it's other,
Yes, it is.
no, we're good here, but I just,
She got them both.
I need the back end. What have we just identified this as a capital expenditure?
Yes.
I need a voucher number on it? Voucher numbers on
That's
that.
right, you do. The voucher numbers are,
I probably could find it.
I think they might be with Alice's stuff.
This is Alice's
Oh,
stuff
there it
right
is. See
here.
where it says sign? Let's pull them out.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull it out now that you don't need the big package.
No.
Thank you. Here we are. And if you look at the second signature page, you'll have the numbers. And then everybody can sign the top page of that one and the separate page.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, in the water heater replacement that was here at Burbank, the water heater replacement.
Was it here? or
Yeah, that was
no,
Tushy.
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 That's what I thought.
Oh, TCL, okay. Guess that's what it means.
And the second half of that motion is for vouchers number, where are we at here?
There, choker.
Where do
They're
we,
right.
what do we want to use for a voucher? Oh,
286.
Oh, okay. 6, 7, 8. 36, 6, 7, 88.
oh, yes, indeed, 286 through 288 in the amount of $82,064.61. All those in favor say.
Aye.
All those opposed?
You gonna say aye?
can't
Oh,
remember. Did I ask
aye. No, I'm gonna say aye to the first part.
Oh, that's right. It took so long to do that. I forgot what was
Rolling
going on
zone.
there.
Wake me up.
I need everybody's signatures, everyone.
Let's start it back there with Alan.
Just sign the top page of that one group and the other page that's marked.
The two that are
The two,
flagged.
the two that have the flags on them. And I'll point out that the second sheet has the purchase of the two-sheet property on it, which we are going to approve formally down under facilities, and if you don't approve it, we will remove it from that voucher.
Okay.
That's just how they were delivered to me, and it's easier this way.
Correct.
so.
Do you want to go to the treasurer's financial
Sure, we
statement?
can move on to the treasurer's financial statement. It is for the month of March, because March is completed, we're only in April, and since our meeting's just a tad later, it's the goldenrod one. It actually arrived, I think on Friday.
Okay.
So, you'll see that, the balance at the first of the month in the cash account.
You sign that one.
I guess the little tag got lost.
It's right there.
Oh, it's there.
Here's the
Oh,
other one.
There
I
is
see.
the other one. There you
I
go.
separated it out.
Okay.
Threw me
I'm
off.
sorry.
That's all right.
We got lost in the forest.
That's all right. This treasurer's financial statement, when I show you the expenditure report, when we look at it either in the printout or on the screen, you'll see that I have a line that says tied to treasurer's financial statement. So that particular number is the number there under balance first of the month. In this case, $3,424,520.83. And so when I go through the all of the lines that I post to, and then I look at the expenditures that are given to me by the auditor, which you used to see in the past, which looked like this.
Yes.
Okay. I go through the treasurer's report, I go through this report, I post them to the spreadsheet, and then I reconcile it. So when I say that it's reconciled to the treasurer's report, that means that when I start the month of April, I in fact have verified that what we're tracking and what the treasurer says are identical. Okay, so that's how I'm doing it. I'm actually reconciling three different things together to make sure that we're not losing track of ourselves. And then you'll see the collections, which are the taxes, of course, the property taxes. This is the first major turnover. The miscellaneous receipts you'll see on the back. They include investment interest of $2,264.78. And they include, those user fees down there happen to be Walnet fees that Walla Community College gave us because we're managing the Walnet account.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's their portion of the annual payment.
Okay.
It's not our money, it's Walnut's money. And that's why I track these things, because we just get these lump statements and we need to know where the money actually belongs. And then the smaller numbers come from our collections at the various branches. They turn them into me at the end of the month. We take all 5 branches and go ahead and validate the cash receipts. And then I put them in the bank, and then I post them to the treasurer, and then the treasurer gives us this report. Do you have any questions about that? You'll see we have nothing left down in the investment fund. Everything that we now own is in the special government pool.
Okay.
Here she is. Hi.
Welcome. We have a seat for you here.
Oh, over
There
there.
got your stuff.
I saw it.
There I go.
We got a chair for them.
This
Section on the revenue that says other
The
miscellaneous.
what?
The section here that says other miscellaneous, what's encompassed in that?
I don't have no idea.
$213?
Huh? Oh,
Yeah.
215?
213.
You know what, in our books, it's called the summer reading grant.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's money that comes in from friends and so on.
Okay.
And that's why I keep all different track of these things, so. I thought it was empty, that's why I said I have no idea. I thought it was empty like some of those other ones are.
Boy, there's a lot.
That was a trick question.
That was a trick
I wasn't
question.
trying to set you up.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
can handle it.
that's the way of it. So, we've approved the vouchers, Andrea, and we've seen of the
Oh,
treasurer's
okay.
report. And I was simply pointing out that the balance at the first of the month is the amount of money that the district has with the treasurer in the government pool at the beginning of April. Okay, so,
We've been waiting to do them.
Yes,
you
thank
wanna
you.
turn this on for me?
The
And
moolah.
then- No,
Yes.
there's, Alice had Josh print out some really large print sheets for those who would prefer to
They're not
look-
that really large.
Well,
No, I'm not, I'm
I
not
know.
complaining.
I
I'm
know,
just
I know,
saying
I know.
that most of us probably are like
thank you.
trying to see these
Yeah, I
things.
tried to print it at home and I ended up with half of it.
Oh, it doesn't
It's
print,
just
I
a
know,
pain.
I know, it's just really difficult. But anybody who wants one in between, Josh knows how to print it that big for you,
Okay,
anyway.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No, go ahead, I'm watching here. I can actually see, I don't know
Oh,
what the
I'm
difference is,
cool.
but I can
One
read
should
this.
This is a lower resolution, so it makes everything look
Okay.
bigger. The problem you're gonna see though is she's gonna have to scroll sideways to.
Yeah, I am,
Oh,
that's why,
right, to get the whole picture.
that's why I
Oh,
put,
yeah, I
that's
see.
why I put the same things on the other side. Because we're now down to where I'm past where we can see that. So it's identical on this side. It tracks everything the same way. So, and I just hope you've had the opportunity to look at it at home.
My monitor needs to be that big to see it.
Huh? What?
He's just yanking your chain, it's okay.
I-
Giving you a hard time.
Okay. There's the 90,937.08 that you saw in the treasurer's report. Here's the 217, the 213, the little numbers. We do not have a treasurer's report, of course, for April. But I have received the, auditor's report also. So you can see the totals there, which you'd already seen on the treasurer's report. And you see the listing over here, it's identical.
These are the ones that you were looking at.
This was a good idea to have that.
Well, we used to have it before.
Nah,
But it came out when she was.
I didn't know any better. You could have taken a look at it.
I'm not sure what that was, but it's setting it up.
It's done with.
Yeah. Well, that should say that then. But that's the ones that I
I think
always
the big print's good.
look for, you know. You can find, track stuff a lot better, just looking at the percentages.
I'm waiting for people
We're-
to stop talking.
Well, hang in there,
sorry, we're going over
we're
here.
discussing this
Talking
thing.
is a good thing. I just, I didn't want to rush anybody. Now, you go down into the, claim 202 that you approved last month is totally missing from the treasurer's total of expenditures. On that goldenrod sheet, you'll see where it says transfer to auditor's warrant account, $342,695.96. That total is the total amount of money that we spent in March. And when I add everything up and reconcile it, we're short $149.45, which corresponds to claim 202, which means that the auditor who prepared the claims from our vouchers didn't get it to the treasurer. So I'm gonna follow up on that. But I've only gotten all these figures in the last 2 days. So that's what that's all about. Okay, we are 33.33% through the year. The numbers you're looking at for April, which is the light gray, you'll see corresponds to all of our staff. They're over there with their titles and their initials.
Is that through March?
Right.
Or through a?
That's April. That includes April.
Should be through April.
That's right. Yeah. Because, yeah, that
Otherwise,
includes,
your numbers are off. Yeah, good.
huh?
Otherwise, your numbers would be off. 33%, right?
33% is 4/12 of a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah.
It includes, that's why I was working over the weekend, because it includes
Yeah.
all of the expenditures for April that you are approving right now. Okay?
That's this column. It
See what I
doesn't
mean?
Identified, right?
In other words, there'll be no more expenditures in April.
Right.
When April's finished, we will have completed.
Yeah. No, I just want to make sure on my, I'm looking at 33%. I always look, we're at 25%.
That's why I waited for you.
I know. Gotta make sure April's in there. Okay, good.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay. So there are the salaries, the expenditures by all the persons.
The administrative 96% is,
That's not administrative, that's me.
oh yes, okay, I saw that elsewhere too. Yep, got it.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's because we only projected
Right.
me through this month.
Yep, I know.
Plus, we've been putting money out of that particular line for attorneys.
Yep.
Okay? So we'll readdress that at some point.
You just seem like we should have something more than administrative support as your line item. I'm sorry.
I don't
Just-
think it is administrative support. Oh, that,
It is, yeah.
oh, that's the ILL. That's different, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am a 97%.
You're in a different section though, but this
I
administrative
must be.
support is.
Yeah, you're right. What,
sound like
that's ILL, et cetera.
But she waited for you, Andrea.
Well, that's why, because otherwise I'd be getting a phone call tomorrow. Let's see, that is, that's totally spent, ended. That's why, it ended. That was a special line for Amy's work at the administrative center. Amy Rosenberg. And she was at a different, position level and wage.
So it's closed out and we move on to things.
That's right, and I
Yep.
have a new administrative support, ILL, et cetera, for Callie Schneider, and that's down in a
Right.
different place.
Okay.
That's why it's almost
sense.
spent. Okay.
It says, yours is, the contract is under materials and services.
Yeah, it is. I was just.
It says 86 points, 45% used.
Oh, okay, well, I saw 97%. Let's see. So there's the other clerks, and so on, just, you can watch the numbers. We've had a shift in personnel. We had a long vacation for one of our employees. We had a gap here at Burbank when one employee left and before another one came. So we have quite a bit of money put into vacation substitute hours. That's at 35.6% spent. And that is simply a larger number than it might be at this time of year because we had to fill in some pretty heavy gaps for a change of staffing. So instead of if someone, for example, this person fills in for hours that are not theirs, instead of putting the money in their wage place, even though they get paid the wage, I put it down in substitutes so that we can actually track how much we spend over the normal hours. Okay? And you can't really see how much is in the budget for that, but I think it's about $9,000, so. Okay,
Okay.
so that brings total salaries of 29%,
$601.
and that includes a place taker. Let's see, no, it doesn't.
No.
No, it doesn't. So if we had the director in there, that would take up the rest of it.
Now, when it says clerk 1 and clerk 2, that's just different pay scale for those people.
That's correct, Yeah, in the wage scale that was approved. And those I haven't filled in at all. That's just a different way of looking at the same numbers. At some point, I'll probably figure out how much we're spending in each branch. And then we get down to the work comp, which is nothing right now. We don't have any unemployment claims at this time that we're paying for. We're self-insured, so that's what that hole is for. We have paid in the past, and we may pay again. In fact, to date, we spent $1,343, and that was back in January.
Okay.
So that was a quarterly,
That was at the end of the,
something. Medical and dental is doing just fine, as you can see. We haven't had any claims into our self-insurance area yet. There will be, of course, but not yet.
We just have to keep our employees healthy.
Yeah, and happy.
Okay.
The employer Social Security is on target, and the PERS retirement is on target. And those numbers need to be low because, of course, with an executive director in there, it would be on target. Okay. Any questions there? Okay, then we go down into office supplies. That's in red because our auditor has something in the wrong hole. I've looked through the vouchers that have been prepared and authorized, and we actually spent $615 in March for office supplies, and she had like $142 or something. So even though the totals work out, something's in the wrong place. So I have to move
Does
some.
it seem like there's an inordinate number of gaps at the auditor's office?
I have had the auditor's office change some things in 2012 because certain lines I didn't want to go over when they shouldn't have, but not much. And now that I'm triangulating all three reports, I've got maybe 4 or 5 corrections. So it's not inordinate.
Okay.
It's not inordinate. And the totals seem fine, except for that 149 that's missing. But the totals work out. It's just that,
They
They
need
put-
to be
they put it
categorized.
someplace
It's a new
else.
process and new line
yeah,
item.
they
put
get
it
popped in
someplace
the
else.
wrong spot. So, but it'll work. That's why I've worked so hard at the beginning of this year to try to keep expanding this because we want to have everything straightened out, you know.
Yeah, needs to be right.
Before the year is out, so we know what's what. Professional services, okay, legal, we have a $1 grand total of $40,000 for professional services. That's 97% spent because it's my 86% plus attorneys. Okay, so that's that number. The communications, they're fine. Here's the telephone, total for telephone, broken out by the branches. And then the total for the internet, broken out by branches, and those are gonna go up. Do you wanna say something about that, Josh?
Well, I think this month we changed Tushy over to Columbia REA, a wireless connection before we can get the fiber into a new place. The fiber connections are going to be kind of spendy, but we get 80 to 90% off with E-rate discounts. So the numbers here might look high, even now they might look high, but they're before we get our E-rate discounts of about 80%. But where we're going is that we have Prescott, Tushy, and Vista right now are all in the same thing, the same connection. Burbank right now is still on charter, but we're going to move them to fiber in probably a month or so. I'm waiting on them. They said they're working on contracts with NoaNet, and so I'm waiting.
Okay.
But on the outset of it, all of our internet, almost all of our internet, for a good while, will be from one provider, and they can do a pretty good job with that. But anyway, so,
So there are a lot of changes that we'll see reflected in the numbers here.
yeah, you'll see some increases when we get hooked up to that fiber, but then it's pending
Well,
discounts
as we
later.
know, we have to stick with whatever the fastest thing is because
Yeah.
our clientele
More and more. They
will
want more
not
and more.
tolerate slow go.
There's a 393.61 that was misposted, and I have just recorded where it should have been. That was our error. Just got the wrong, got a 100 instead of a 300. So we'll get that corrected. postage and freight.
54%.
Well, we paid an annual Orbis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the Whitman drop.
So you paid it
Right.
right.
Like the subscription.
Yeah.
When do you, what month
Wait.
do you pay
That
that?
isn't true.
That's for
No.
postage and courier.
That's, yeah, but that isn't true. What I
There's
just said
Orbis.
isn't
The
true.
Orbis is in a different spot, isn't it?
It's,
Postage,
Orbis has a blank.
the
on it.
Orbis must be back. Yeah, it is blank. How did we get that much postage?
Skip back around.
I'm going to. 257 was, for sending out all the, reimbursements.
What is your percentage there that's missing?
Well, we got up to 54%.
No, right above it. No, go straight across by the 605. Oh, I see. You just wrote it twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So how, what are you adding in there?
I don't know, it's probably a mistake. Let's see.
Well, the Orbis doesn't show on this.
I got those total.
No, our math isn't adding, just a second.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that one percentage is.
let's see what it is. Let's see
Do you have
what.
your function in there if you click on
I
it?
do, I just am trying to,
Because I think your 33 is right.
Can you click on the 54 so I can see the function?
oh, well, that's dividing this total into the budget. See?
But where are you getting that total? It's one,
Well, that's what I was looking at here.
But the Orbis
This
doesn't
total
have any
is
numbers.
121.
Just the postage.
so it's not just the
But,
postage.
but
You're
the
counting
Orbis,
that
but you only
75%.
pay
I'm looking at the whole
you only pay
category.
the Orbis once a year, right?
That's right.
It is
But
including your 32% and your 75% and your 33%.
Yeah,
It's all the way up to that one.
103 is our,
Yeah.
The 54 is the section percentage.
that's why. And that's because this
Right, because you've already paid 100% of it.
is an annual payment that we make for our Walnut membership. Okay, so that's that. That's why that number, that's why that percentage is
Okay.
high.
So you know, Alita, not to criticize the thing, but it would be good to know where each section stops and starts.
You can see it better on that.
When it's in color, probably.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
yeah.
It shows it here.
here you go, doll.
You
I
can
know,
see it a
sorry.
lot,
I'm
you can see it.
insane.
But I can put in
Well,
double lines or something.
enjoy.
Actually,
Well, you have it.
I
In
think
some
I
of the,
do.
you have it kind of bold.
See how you can't tell that the 35 is no longer part of this, but the 32 is part of it? Your 35%.
Line 120 is the dividing,
Yeah, but I can't tell by looking.
that's the end of that section.
Yeah,
You
and
want
that we're in a
you
new
want
section, and that's the total for that section. Maybe a color thing would.
you want a happy little bar in there.
let's get a
Something
double
like
bar or
that, just
something.
so we can.
Okay.
We don't have to do it now, Alita.
It's done.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's like magic.
I tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty then.
It just makes it easier to.
Yeah.
Well, it's really hard to tell in such a small
Yeah,
field.
exactly.
But anyway, that's why that's over the
It's
top.
including in that one. Okay.
All right.
All right, moving along then.
So postage and courier are together here, or we don't have?
They
courier-
are, they are together, and I guess we just haven't paid our annual bill yet.
Yeah,
The Orbis courier is
Yeah.
together.
You haven't paid it yet.
Not,
Because this is also delivery, that's why we put it together, postage and freight. Because
Question, Tom?
a lot of our postage went to mailing packages, and now we don't spend so much mailing
Right.
packages. We send a lot more on the courier, so we just put them together.
Right.
Right.
You ready to leave that one?
Yep.
Okay. District courier and in-district travel. You recall, in January, we paid the board for all of 2012.
Correct.
So I'm hoping this will continue to drop to the right level.
I have a question, with the floating, I forget where we'll call it.
Collection?
The collections landing where they land. Are we gonna have as much need for courier?
The need will be the same, the load will be less.
Okay,
Because you'll still have books that people are requesting, you just have
Correct.
less things.
You still
being
have the
returned.
route.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And on one, I normally end up with 3-4 crates at the end of the route, and then there was one day this week last week I had 2. So it's showing up now that I just have, semi-full, like 2 semi-full crates and a whole bunch of empties. So it's definitely,
So
you
is
can
that,
feel it now.
is that gonna change the type of vehicle that we have a need for?
I don't think so, because Letha and I were talking, and this is the part I haven't shared with you yet, but we were looking at two different things. One that was smaller would be good for just buying courier, one that's much larger that would be good for buying everything, and my decision I made without you
That's okay, I told you
is
to.
that I think it makes sense to buy the big one,
Okay,
All right,
because who knows what we're going to move in the next 2 years.
that's good.
well, and you can always get it, something in there, but the little guy, you're
Yeah,
limited.
yeah, yeah,
It's a better price too,
yeah. So that's where we're headed.
and more practical, that's
Yeah.
good, yeah, okay, good,
All righty, thank you.
that's good. These where I say auditor misposting, I have the sheets that I'm taking over to sit down with the auditor just to get them moved for the next report. It's nothing more than being in the wrong hole. The operating rents, leases, this is the category we put, I think, 50,000 into, and it covers everything. The plaza rent, the Tushy post office box, the plaza rent, all of that, and those are just normal numbers. And then we have all of the utilities. You'll see them listed there, water and sewer.
So you don't have the individual percentages, so I can't tell if Burbank's going crazy again.
I can do that very easily.
I know.
But I don't, well, here's why,
If you didn't
Andrea.
budget it individually.
I didn't budget them individually because everything's changing.
I know.
With
Okay, that's
new
fine.
buildings and so on.
Eventually, we need to get back to seeing if there's problems, but that's fine. Keep going. I don't
Well,
want to hold
absolutely, and I
Yeah.
think
Because that's how we knew we had such problems here.
Exactly. You still have problems.
Yeah, I know you do. I can tell by looking at some of those numbers. 670.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be, I could break it out on a proportionality on what we expect, and then we could watch percentages, but it's kind of a fool's errand at this point, because
Yeah, it's changing.
it
right.
is what it is, and it's, nothing's changed since last year.
I'll revisit it in 2 years. How's that sound?
Well, even next year, yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think you have to
Okay,
wait
so
that
there's
long.
your grand total for the rent, utilities, and so on.
33.74%.
Right on the money, huh?
That's
And I'm
pretty
not worried
good.
about that because,
That's pretty good.
well, yeah, and when we have our new buildings, we're not gonna have plaza, which is a very expensive affair. And when we build new buildings, they're gonna be more energy efficient. That's,
Right,
And those include April.
yes,
yes.
absolutely. They include April. All the vouchers, all the bills.
Good.
Oh, well, if she's gonna play with her, I will.
Should not choke.
It's not my
Okay.
fault. Insurance,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
that's not happening yet. Building and grounds maintenance, both the building and ground maintenance and the equipment maintenance, I think are, let's see what they're budgeted at. Let
25%.
me get there. Building and grounds.
So you're 25%.
Yeah, I
And
know.
that's not bad. I mean,
know, I wanted
we're
to
at
see what the totals were. I
33%.
think the totals were 15 and 20 and 20. That's it. Building and grounds. Okay. Building and grounds. Okay. I couldn't remember what we budgeted. Anyway, that's doing fine right now. We have routine expenditures for mowing and cleaning. And then we have oddball expenditures for making repairs. And then training and professional. We've got people going to, this is April. So this is for a program that Jen Ryan is participating in. She has received a wonderful grant from the state that we have matched.
Oh.
And
And
for,
where, and what is this?
I'm gonna let
The
Chris
170.
speak it.
It's for training, for library, assistant kind of work, clerical
Exactly.
training, yeah. So
It's-
she'll be doing a training program over a number of years.
Mhm.
Okay.
And she
Is
gets
this
to-
an online kind of thing or a?
It is, it's online.
Okay,
And it's through ALA,
Yep.
and the state's helping her pay for the fee to take it, and then she could choose to pay for classes, or she could create a portfolio, so she's gonna probably do a mix of things.
Mhm.
okay.
It's a highly regarded program, and she was given a grant from the state if we could match, which we
Well, that's
did.
fantastic if you can get a grant of anything
I know,
from the state. Yeah.
yeah. And then association dues is pretty standard. Technology, I'm gonna move over a little so you can maybe see what it is. Computer maintenance, nothing there. We've got hardware, we spent $292.69 a month. Library services is all of our books and things like that. Book processing material, we spent $100 in this month. And the 49.41%, I'm not too worried about because we tend to buy a lot in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and we did
And
buy
it tapers off.
we did all those e-reader.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
For
had
the-
like 12 e-reader cases.
Right.
So that's why the previous month was like, what, 400?
Exactly. And that's for our book clubs.
okay.
Print and electronic library materials, you'll see it's broken down by books, by electronic periodicals, which is something wonderful, because there's the price of it, that we've just begun.
Is that the
Zinnia,
magazines, or
that's
the
the
100
magazine.
magazines, or 90, or whatever
Well,
it
it's
is?
I
100
think we're at
and-
89 right now, I think.
It's, it moves.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we bought 100 and some more.
The
Yeah,
report
but
said
I
100.
can't tell you the number exactly, because it does keep moving, because magazines keep going in and out,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a volatile field.
One falls off the table, another one gets on the table.
Exactly.
But there's,
Well, I haven't tried to look that up
Oh,
yet, but I thought,
it is
ooh!
so fun.
So you like get the whole
You get the
magazine?
whole magazine, it's right there on your
Everything.
electronic.
I've
device, whatever it
subscribed
is.
to some
It's just
Zinnia
like having a
things
magazine, except
before,
it's
so
electronic.
it'll be nice.
How are they ever gonna sell magazine subscriptions?
Well, not everybody wants to read it that way.
Well, that's true, but, okay.
well, look how what we're paying for it, and the magazines are probably selling rights to
Well,
these
I'm sure they're-
people, and, you
right.
know,
Okay.
But
Oh, yeah.
it's a moving target, this electronic delivery.
Yeah.
For
I mean, we have trouble
magazines
with
that don't
books, we have trouble with music, we have trouble with a lot of
They
things.
do have such things.
In the first week, the staff got to play with it. They downloaded 70 issues, so and it was only a few people, only about 7. So people were really finding.
They were
stuff,
getting
yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Media, this is DVDs and CDs. These are our ebooks, this is our overdrive costs. This $1,000 represents the beginning of the Overdrive Advantage program, which means that we can give $1,000 to them and spend $1,000 for us, and the $1,000 will buy titles that will be ours exclusively, and the other $1,000 goes into the pot. And this is a way that libraries are building up their collections so that there's not so much competition for certain titles.
Ah,
It's a shifting market,
it's so you kind of get rid of that get in line and wait.
sort
A
of.
You
little
only
bit.
get
You
line
shorten
in
it.
your own
No,
group?
no, you get in 2 lines.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're moving in both of them, whichever one you get to the head of the line.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's transparent.
Well, we
So-
don't know. I just pick my book
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, if you get a list that's like 200 and some odd holds, and then you've got another one that we bought an Advantage collection copy of that's only available to our people, you know, you're thinking, oh, wait, 200 books, well, you might get it in 3 weeks, because you might be 4 on our internal list. But you don't have to worry about it, it just happens
We have our own
automatically.
collection and then a shared collection.
Yeah, we have the consortial collection, Washington Anytime Library. You can now do the Advantage collection. What Letha was explaining was that we have to pay $1,000 to the Anytime Library, and then we have 1,000 credit that we can buy whatever we want. That's part of the consortial
Okay.
agreement. They allow you to buy your own titles that you hold yourself, as long as you give the same amount of money to the consortium.
Will we
Oh.
see those when we go to look for books, Josh?
No, we don't know where it's at?
You can see them, but right now I don't think Anna's bought very many. You'll see a book and it'll have a big A with a star. That means Advantage Collection.
Oh,
Look for Gone Girl. If you search for that one, you'll see what the.
I've already read it.
I know, but you'll see
my granddaughter
the
thinks I should read it.
icon on that one.
Okay.
And those are exclusively available to our patrons.
And the overdrive, the waiting on the books is getting better. You know, if you spend a little time looking around and you've got a massive list of books you want to read, you can find something that you will either get immediately or within a couple of days you have more than your 5.
I'm still not very successful with the overdrive with the audiobooks with the Apple product, though.
It works on my iPad.
get you an
It's
Android.
fabulous.
It worked, well, see, but even it didn't work on any of it. I tried it on the iPod, iPad.
Yeah, we ran into some file format issues. Yeah, but anyway.
Here's a category called e-readers and devices to lend content. We don't have anything in there yet, because our regular e-readers, are under what? Equipment? Right.
Yeah.
But this would be if we actually put content on an e-reader and just loan the whole thing.
Okay.
It's anticipating
What we
more
talked
usage
about,
of that,
But now
basically.
right now
Doing.
you've got 6 books on the e-readers, and that's for the book club.
Right, but we can,
But they're not. It's not listed here. It's listed someplace else.
yeah,
And it might come out next month because we did just buy them, I think, last
Yeah.
week.
yeah. So that's why that's in there. And the music is our Freegal, our annual Freegal subscription, which we've just begun, and everybody's really excited about that.
Are we gonna be able to get usage stats for those? I'd be curious to see what kind of usage
Yes.
we're getting.
With Freegal, we were up, since the first month and a half or so, we're up to 257 downloads.
So it's going pretty good then.
It's going, even though it's throttle, 3 at a time, three
Yeah,
per
we
week,
stick
it's
to
going
it.
pretty good. But Anna can run reports on overdrive stuff, and we can get you stuff. It's
So a
big-
person
to
can
see
only
that.
get 3 songs a week. Is that a song or is that a
It's a song,
not a
Not
CD,
an album.
Not an album.
Yeah.
A song. Okay.
and it resets every week. You get 3.
Okay.
Reset as in you lose your song?
No, you
no,
keep your song
you keep
forever.
it, okay.
It's an MP3 and they just
Yeah.
let you keep it, so.
Oh, they don't. It doesn't disappear.
Oh.
They don't
Should
come
build a
in
collection
the
over
night
time.
like they do with your books and take it out.
That's why it's
Just
kind of fun.
burn it onto a CD.
These are program
CDs for some of
costs.
those.
We're moving into summer reading time, but there are some programs, there are program materials for story times and so on. These are expenditures that we've done for presenters, which are still, I guess they haven't come yet, yet to happen. PR events, nothing, summer reading supplies, so that's pretty straightforward. Equipment, there's an equipment purchase price, and there was Burbank equipment, we fixed something.
I guess you did.
Total materials and services,
Toilet again?
and there's your total for that line.
The roof, the parking lot, the heater, the.
Yeah. And here, in this number, the
Gremlins.
3771, there are several annual subscriptions included. So it doesn't have to be spot on. But that's why we keep an eye on these things. Total operating expenses,
Oh, good.
that's for the whole month, which you saw. And that's for the year to date, and that's what we've spent to date, percentage-wise. And yes, all of April's there. Okay, and then these are just the numbers that tie back to the treasurer's report.
Okay.
This is April, this is the total. We take the total materials and services, total general fund budget right there. We add in the capital expenditures for the month, which you just approved. And the grand total for this month is $160,702. So what I did to get the beginning number in April was to take the ending number me tie it right back here to where I call it. The, there, 3424-52083, that's the number you saw on your goldenrod sheet. So, I don't know why that didn't in color, it's in color on mine. Why isn't it in color? No, that.
Oh, it's just the saturation on the screen.
Because
I tried to play
it's-
with it, but
Yeah, because it's rose colored here, because that's the reconciliation line, right there.
Grand finale.
Grand finale.
Right, so next month, after we get, right now we have 3,180,000 in our bank account, but we don't have any tax turnovers yet. So once they come in, that will get added to that number. And then we'll have more. Okay. I don't know how else to do this because it's so detailed, and I don't know how to get it
I don't
on to
have a good-
anything.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I think to make it not quite so cumbersome, we should do this very thorough one less frequently, and we should examine everything that's over the percentage,
Yeah.
or everything that's a mistake from the auditor every month.
Okay.
Just the highlights.
Just take a look at the flags.
Every red flag as far as, look, just do calculations, 25% of the year, every number that's not in the,
Well,
that's above 25%.
you actually get these on your, no, you didn't. You didn't get it.
No, you gave us this, and I did it
Did I?
myself.
Yeah.
I just did a
Oh,
cut
yeah, I
and paste
did it on
into a new
Saturday.
thing. I sorted by everything that was red flagged,
Right,
looked at them,
right.
and then got my
Well,
questions ready.
yeah,
But not-
and I agree with you. You can't do it that way every time, but things are changing and we're just kind of easing into this. So it seemed like a good idea.
I do, I think we need to look at it thoroughly, several times a year.
Yeah,
But I think we only need to look at red flags.
We don't
every
have to look
time.
at it every
And
month.
even red flags, we understand when a
Right.
roof needs replaced, it needs replaced and it's gonna throw it
Okay.
off. We don't mind having several of them off, we just wanna see them, so we're aware.
right,
I think we have that responsibility.
okay.
The rest of the board think
Anybody else agree with that, or?
good with
Are they
that?
still gonna send us the full spreadsheet with our
Yeah.
packet?
Yeah, the full,
Yeah, I'll
email
send
the
it
full
to
one,
email.
So if I wanna wade through
read
it,
at
I
our
can.
leisure.
Right,
Yes,
Just
you
the
can.
highlights.
so then I
Boring guy.
won't
I do
put
too.
it up on the screen.
Two of you.
Do we need it on the screen?
I don't, it's hard to read on the screen because it's truncated like it is.
Let's
So
just
This is,
this
well,
easy.
I'm 2 chairs down, but this is a great screen.
Yeah, I actually like the screen, but I think,
No, but I mean,
If it was
you
just-
only really need to know which ones are out of skew.
Well, and if we're down to just discussing that, then we don't need to put
the whole
4
thing.
items on the
Just put
screen.
Excel, a separate Excel.
A separate one.
Just a
We
separate sheet?
just the red flags.
I can do that.
Yeah, just export everything all over Excel.
I'll
or-
export everything. And then I'll give you the red flag.
Yeah.
Anything that's over percentage,
You can pop that into its own graph.
I can
Yeah.
do that.
Beautiful.
Okay,
But we're learning it
Huh?
too.
I think so. I think I don't need it anymore.
Okay,
All right then.
moving onward. The staff reports were,
You've read them, I suppose.
Yes, I've
Any
read-
questions,
Fine.
any comments?
I enjoyed reading
I also liked it that each staff report person wrote what their statistics were for the month. And that's new, but I saw that at the bottom of most of them,
Oh, those were included?
about how many books have been checked out and all that.
Yeah, I think that was done in one of them.
There's several of them, I think, did.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice.
yeah. Chris does that pretty consistently,
Yes.
and then Aaron was writing them this month, and I said, why don't you put this at the bottom, because I think
Yes.
people like that.
We like that. It was something that Matt did
I see,
that we liked.
at the end of the month. So that's why we've been trying to accommodate.
Okay.
Okay, staffing update.
Well, you know, we have the new employees. I think we spoke of them last month, but they're on deck now. Sherry Marquardt is working here for a bank, as youth services. And, Laura Schneck, you met, is, working at Prescott now. And Callie Schneider has been filling in a lot of substitute hours, and she also has learned and is filling in for Carlotta while Carlotta's on vacation for all of the interlibrary loans.
Okay.
And she's also spending 4 hours every week doing administrative work to support Jean. Yeah,
What's her name?
Callie Schneider.
Carol.
And then, of course, Josh has been working with Larry Pitcher, who is our technology support person. Did I forget anybody? I don't think so. So I just want you to know that at the administrative center, we are working to see how the flow of work with the cataloging, collection development, the weeding, all of that sort of thing, how that impacts what we do at the administrative center. And so that's a developing process. The branches are sorting themselves out very well. I don't know if you want to give any staffing update here, since you're, yeah, good, see, we're good, she says.
Okey dokey.
Okie dokie.
Okay, management team activities.
Management team meets once a month, usually the day after the board meeting. And we have dealt with the things like the Zinio and the Overdrive Advantage, with the floating collections, as you know. We've also developed the volunteer guidelines and the process for people being able to volunteer, and the background checks we've set up for the background checks through the WATCH program, which is the Washington State,
Whatever, yeah.
whatever. It costs us $10 to do a background check on a volunteer that has already been spoken to, and make sure that that volunteer really wants to do the work, and so on and so forth.
And
So-
what are the initials? It's the what? Watch program?
WATCH, yeah.
So every library has that in place, so that every volunteer goes through?
Getting there.
We're getting
Okay.
there, yeah. I mean, we've
That's
done
important.
it, we've got it all set up, we have not spread the word yet.
Will the volunteer be apprised of the fact that it's gonna cost $10 to process that? I only say that because if I were a volunteer, I would say, let me donate the $10 to do that, because I'm volunteering because
Yeah.
libraries need, people can work and you don't have to pay them, so I'd hate to think that they were having to pay, even if it's just $10, to
Yeah.
pay for me to volunteer.
Well, I think that's not a bad idea.
So, I mean, you're not
just-
saying you have to pay it, but.
They wouldn't have to, but it could
Right,
be.
Yeah.
but in going through, this is the process we have to do.
This is,
It can be mentioned, yeah.
Right, it could just be mentioned, and if somebody wanted to reimburse us, that'd be
You know,
great.
Carol, I think I would disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Because I think in the school district, when you volunteer, I think you pay, don't you? No? Is that a no? Okay.
I coordinated the volunteers at school, and they initially said they did, but for schools, they said, no, you
Okay.
don't have to.
Okay.
I think the more roadblocks we
I
have.
I think the schools are a
You don't
different
want-
category
if you're a
than.
nonprofit or a school, you don't have to pay. We do.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay. Talk to them.
okay.
Alrighty, I just thought,
Well, some people have more time than money, so if they don't,
Right,
we don't want them to feel like they
no,
have to.
no, no,
And the.
Yeah, I would,
I wouldn't even put that out there saying, I mean,
Yeah.
until the person, until you're doing the paperwork, and you just let them know that, because I would want to know that.
yes, I would too.
So I could,
How many volunteers
the
do we
staff,
have
huh?
in the district? How many volunteers do we have on a regular basis? Do we have?
Well, somebody else can answer that, but I want to say up front that people who volunteer for events are not going to go through this whole process.
Okay.
So that being said, somebody else will have to answer how many volunteers there are that are event volunteers and how many will go through this process. I don't know, but somebody might.
Right. Well, we've got a homework zone program here at the library, and so that's an ongoing program, and that it's appropriate for that program to do these kinds of checks and, be sure. Certainly for the, events that we do, then we just bring in a lot of people and we're all working together and it's not the same issue. So I don't know how many of those programs will develop in the other branches, but you know,
You're
we're ready now.
one-on-one with
We're
the
ready
student.
now to do a
Right.
responsible job.
Right.
We're not talking a huge amount of money, we're talking tens of dollars
Yeah.
for
You're not talking
an
huge
extra
amount
set
of
of hands.
And,
That's-
and
I
when you look
wouldn't
at
even
$10
mention the-
over the course of the time that these ongoing volunteers give to the library,
It's a pittance.
pretty
Oh, yeah, it's
It's a bargain.
it's an absolute pittance.
yes.
We do it every year, don't
No,
we?
no,
School,
you do.
that's what they said.
Yeah, I don't think.
You have to do it every year?
I think so.
Reassess who can and who can't?
Then something hasn't happened.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you don't have to, that helps.
oh.
So anyway, that's a brand new product which we are going to be working on with the different branches. And then another very, very important thing that we've worked out at the management meeting is how we're going to implement this management software that manages our computers. It's a wonderful program. Josh has done a huge amount of research on it. It involves not only the technological aspects of profiling and management, but also many, many policy decisions. And so that's one of our big projects.
Yeah, this is the one where you can walk up to a public computer, enter your barcode, and get something. Get a session, get a turn, whatever. And so we're knee-deep in figuring that out, and how we want to make things standard and clear to everyone at every library. When you go to use a computer, X will happen. So, and it'll get rid of paper lists, it'll get rid of, crossing out names on lists if you don't like the person in front of you, because, it'll all be automated. It's all
Oh, okay.
and it's tied to your account in Koha, so there's options to, if you're blocked in the system, you can block them at the computer if you so choose. But anyway, so that's all the profiling we have to figure out.
Yeah, it's very complex options to get optimal use of staff time and computer time and all the rest of it. So it's a very exciting thing. It's a program that's widely used in libraries, but it's not everywhere. I mean, we're joining the elite in
Right.
implementing something like this. So.
I think as Ruth Met said, we're trying to get ahead of the wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we did ask for Chris's idea to pull all the staff about what problems they're having, and staff are having a lot of problems. So the way we're doing it right now is not great for us or the public. So this is a way to standardize access and manage printing, and hopefully get easier time on the staff and much better service to the public when it's all standardized.
Right now, they still write in paper
Paper lists
and cross it out.
You gotta log everybody in and all that, yeah.
And some little kid decides so-and-so doesn't need
Or
to
put
be
their
ahead
name
of
on
them.
7 times. Yeah. So this will get rid of some of that, but it's a huge project because it deals with procedures and policies and what you want your best practices to be in every single branch. So it's a large thing to figure out.
Okay. Reimbursement program report.
You have a report in your packet, which was provided also online,
Yes.
and you can see that, I'm not sure when you printed this, Josh, but,
This was everything for
January,
at
February,
the
March.
end of March. It was everything for March.
right, and we've added, what, about 9 since then, maybe?
Yeah, we had 38 in March. And so far in April, we've had 14, and we're halfway through the month.
So you have 14 on from this number.
Yeah, as of this morning, there's 14 reimbursements this month. And only one was a $34 card, the rest were 68.
So of the totals up at the top then, 270, you'd add 14 more,
Yeah, that would be current to date.
to April 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like things are tailing down like
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
first month was 162, February was 60, March was 38. We're probably on track to hit 30 in April. We'll see what happens. It's dropped dramatically.
Well, it seemed like it was kind of almost halving. You're cutting in half.
Yeah, it was just dropping by half.
Summer might change.
Of course, people are learning about the program, some don't know about it, so. And there are people who move in.
And like Andrea just mentioned, and I've said this to Letha too, that we will probably see an uptick around summer. Because that's
Yeah,
a lot of times,
when they
that
start
might
to-
be the first time during the year that you hit the library. So.
We go a lot more in the summer.
sometimes don't go over in the school year.
But they'd only be buying the 6-month one anyway.
Probably.
By the
They
summer.
might,
Yeah.
yeah.
By summer, yeah.
Yeah,
They'd have that option, yeah.
well, that should be the option at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
months
they
in, they
should
won't be.
They can't.
Yeah, we
a
shouldn't
year.
need to offer it, would we?
No, a year
At
card,
June.
right, in June, we don't offer year cards.
Why would we?
Well, you could, because they get a year. They get past the, if they want it.
Okay.
I thought
I
we
think
ended in
We said we'd end it.
2013.
We said it
Well,
would.
our reimbursement ends in 2013, but if someone buys a 1-year card,
Their cards
now,
could still work
they still
theoretically.
get 12 months.
But we would
Okay.
only,
So it'd be up to I think the way we approve the policy is we'd approve up to $68 per card in 2013.
but I think that the motion said something about,
We can go back and check.
check and see what it
Yeah, we
said.
could check
I
it.
think
I
but-
think it said that by June, then it would only be a half a year.
Well, that's up to the board to see
We
what the
hadn't thought
motion
about that,
says,
yeah.
to think about it, and you can make another decision if you want. or
Yeah,
you
we have
can-
time.
Or you
We
can,
have time.
yeah.
We
Just
just
some-
need to get informed.
Right. Then you have a circulation report, that's the blue thing, which Josh provided. Gives you your statistics.
And it's not really good stats because it's only CERC and there's so much more we do. But it was a quick snapshot and we were at a quarter of a year, so I
Yeah,
mean,
you did, like a good idea.
to really make that more valuable, you have to add in programs and program attendance and all that stuff too. But it was just quick to do. So
Okay. And then shall I move on then to the facility development program
Yes.
update? I've given you a sheet that is the beginning of my spreadsheet for tracking the different lines under which our construction expenses go. And this is just the beginning of the process. We're moving into where we're having the PC is the pre, whatever he calls it. It's the architect and all of the site.
Pre-construction.
Yeah, probably pre-construction, yeah. And then the SD and the DD is like site development and then design development and so on and so forth. And when John gives me the invoices, he identifies each category. And he and I sat down on Friday and carefully went through all the numbers to evaluate the different categories, and we're very comfortable with where everything is going and how it's projecting out. So you can't ascertain a whole lot from this, except that you see that all the land purchases are made, and you can see the architect fund, and we added $19,000, a little over $19,000 at the beginning of this budget year to cover his extra work on all that site development. And we may not spend all of that money that is pre-construction. So that may be available. So things are looking pretty good on that. Then the rest of the report I want to make for the facility development is that our unfinished business has to do with the purchase of the Tucci property, which we'll get to, and I'll explain it now. But also, the architect has sent the Burbank drawings and the County Central drawing to the consultant that prepares the bid documents. And we should have the bid documents for those two, specifically those two, by the end of April. In other words, a couple weeks. And then he'll do Prescott, and that won't take very long at all. And then he's going to start designing Tucci, since we have
Now have the
property, which we were authorized to make the offer and accept the offer up to $80,000, I believe, and we got it for less. And so the motions have to do with memorializing that in the minutes. But we're very, very happy to have gotten that for $70,000 instead of $80,000. And it is that property with the bank on it, and it's really, really nice. So, we've also, John and I sat down with the College Place, planning committee. Every Thursday morning they have meetings, and we sat down with the whole crew and talked about all of the different requirements for the siting and the SEPAs and the NEPAs and all that sort of thing. And they gave us a list of all of the fees that will be involved in the building permit process for the city, and it comes out to about $29,000, and that will be distributed in the different areas of the DD and the SD and the so on and so forth. So this will become more sophisticated as we move along.
Okay.
I drove
Yeah.
by and I was wondering, they just think that they won't try to salvage any of the buildings that are on the site at all.
Our contract with the Smiths,
Uh-huh.
they're going to take the shed lumber,
Okay,
and they're going to take the walnut tree,
okay,
and the house is ours to demolish.
okay.
And that's how it sits.
So there was fencing there and stuff, and I just wondered.
No, that'll be ours in the
That's
end.
yours to demolish,
Yeah. Yeah. Also, we're working with the school district on having the access to the parking lot through their parking lot,
okay.
which they're
Nice.
delighted to have us do, and the city's delighted to have us do. Fewer cuts, and we get a bigger parking lot, and so on and so forth. So that's moving forward also. And I really can't think of anything else that's the consultant team came out and inspected Burbank with Chris, and she brought to their attention everything that she and the staff have noticed in this building that need attention, and talked with them. And then they went by the Tushy property and by the County Central property, and they are the ones that will be helping to design and price out the mechanical systems, the electrical systems, and the structural systems. And John has all of those included in his costs that were given to us in the beginning. So, do you have any questions on any of that? Okay.
Can I throw in one thing?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, we did get the Tushy fiber. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
are
Right.
going to run it down the road, and they're going to put it in what they call a hand hole, which is a big cement box,
Right.
and give us like 200 feet of cable to get it wherever
Finish
we
it.
need to do it. So anyway,
Excellent.
thank
That
you
was
for
a
that.
So the timing worked.
The timing was great.
That was a real
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
they
it-
got back to me and said, "Will this work?" Yes, so they're going to start doing that. So
yeah,
It's working.
it's really good news.
Awesome.
since that's all free, so
That's
great.
good.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a good price.
Okay, correspondence.
We got a letter from Pauline,
I was trying to figure that out.
yeah, I know, Levin Good,
Levin
Seven
Good?
Good. or
Levin,
something.
Levin Good?
Yeah, and she visited with Josh on a day when I was not there, and he explained to her what we were doing and explained the different roles of the public library and the rural library and what we were doing with our buildings and so on. And then she wrote this letter to me about a week later, and I just sent it to you in your packet for your information.
Is she city or county? Do you know where Gladys Street is?
I believe she's county.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Gladys
I think
Street?
it's on the east side of town.
Mm.
I'll look that up while you're talking.
I was trying to figure out what she was trying to say, but
Well,
anyway.
It's as if she wrote a letter to the editor or something, it's that sort of thing.
Okay,
She's upset.
yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
She's upset at Josh.
Why?
I don't know, it just says I'm not coming back.
What'd you do to her?
No, it was a very nice conversation. We
Yeah.
had a very cordial conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
She decided she wasn't gonna get any different information, I think is what
Oh,
she concluded.
Okay.
And then the next correspondence I got was from Karen Anderson, styling herself as a Luck representative, which I forwarded to you in your online packet. And she simply sent us something that looks like a legal document, which I'd spoken to our attorney about, and it's not a valid thing that they can enter into, nor can we. And so you've seen it there, and then this morning, on the back page, is something I didn't send you because it was delivered by hand this morning. And it says that, again, signed by Karen Anderson, she requests a response to their letter that I did send to you. And then she concludes, in the event we have not received your response, we will assume the RLD has rejected our proposed settlement, and we will proceed as outlined in the letter. So you've read the letter, and there's nothing more to be done with it except acknowledging its receipt and putting it into the record. And I will respond to Karen Anderson, as she requested, with a statement advised by my attorney that we've received the letter, and I've shared it with the board.
Okay. Down to unfinished business.
I want Patsy to point out the correspondence she had.
Oh,
It's your
yes.
hot pink thing.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I'm on the mailing list for the Sherwood Trust and the Walla Community College. It's called a Learning Center for Nonprofits. Before, we've been invited to go, even though we're not a nonprofit per se, a 501c3 nonprofit. And the Sherwood Trust pays an amount of money every year for education of leaders within the community, the county. And this one is going to be the Nonprofit Learning Center, April 23rd and 24th, and it's for a becoming more effective and efficient board. And they're identical programs on the 23rd and the 24th of April. The speaker's name is Jan McGowan of Jan McGowan Nonprofit Consulting. Now, I've gone before. Sandra and I went
oh yeah.
a couple years
Couple years
ago,
ago.
and I went once with
It's from 11:30 to 1:30?
yeah, and it's from 11:30 to 1:30. I went with Steve Ames once, and
Okay.
I've gone several times. Yeah, we've gone several times, and they were always outstanding. And the Sherwood Trust fits the bill, and sometimes you have to pay a little, but this one I don't think you do at all.
There isn't any mention?
There's no mention of any money this time. But anyway, you can go online, and it's at the
Water Center.
William Grant Water Center.
And you'll notice that it is limited, so if you want to do it, you should
Yeah, I think
sign
there's
up quickly.
35.
35 participants each session, I think.
Rest.
Sessions are
Yes.
limited to 35. Pre-registration is required, you can't just drop in. But the ones I've been to have been outstanding. And some of the staff went too. It wasn't just,
Well, it's open.
you don't just have to be a board member.
Right.
To get lunch?
I don't know if you
think
get
so.
lunch or not. I read that and I thought, well,
Important thing at
I think you
11:30
get
to
the brown
1:30.
bag.
but if
Who
they're only
knows? Who knows?
if they're only going to have it for 2 hours, they're not going to let you eat, and unless it's a
wouldn't-
brown bag.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is. Carol, maybe I wouldn't, I'm not here the 23rd, but I'm back on the 24th. If you can do it
Okay.
maybe, and look at it.
Okay.
Andrew, you want to come into town? Oh, you said
Well, I have to look at my calendar.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could do either day,
Okay.
What day, what? day-
23rd and 24th,
But what-
Tuesday
I
and
think we're
Wednesday.
looking at 24th.
11:30 to 1:30,
I just need to do, what days of the week then?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday?
one or the other. They're
Tuesday
identical
I could do.
sessions.
Okay.
I can't do Tuesday.
Well, that's okay. There's,
No.
It's spread out.
Yeah.
yeah. Just encourage you to log on and,
I think you'd register yourself.
right, and sign up.
And they do this a couple times a year. They already had one in the fall
Okay.
for something else. But the Sherwood Trust puts their money where their mouth is.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
Do you want to pass out these motions which deal with the next issues? So that whoever wants
Okay,
to.
you can be 1, you can be 2, Patsy can be 3. It's a teacher in me.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
What we have here are 3 actions. actually four regarding the purchase of the Tushy property. This was purchased from Sharon Knudsen, who lives down south of Santa Clarita, California, in a place called Sylvan or something like that. She's been down there for 50 years, but she does have family in Tushy. The property is has a house on it which will be removed, and in that house her niece lives, and her niece is moving. We're giving them 3.5 months until July 15th for her to find a place to live, and also for them to empty out the garage and take personal items from the bank and that sort of thing. And this really doesn't slow us down at all, because we can go on the property and do any kind of surveying and any work on the bank building we want, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a cooperative thing, and she made some adjustments to the purchase and sale agreement, which I think I sent to you, and I initialed them on our attorney's affirmation that it was a fine way to go, and that the purchase and sale was just fine, no problem. And so we have the voucher check to be cut if it's approved on the motion. And then I've already given the papers to Land Title, and they have prepared documents, and they will mail them down to Mrs. Knudsen for her signature. And I have indicated that Carol will again sign the closing documents, and they would be done separately, so we can close whenever Carol chooses to go down there with the check.
Is there a certain contact person at Land Title?
It's the same fellow, Phil, that you,
Wasser?
that,
Is that him?
well, the one that you closed with when you were with the Smiths. The same,
Oh, yeah, I dealt with,
the woman?
yeah,
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but it's
It'll
starts with
come
an
to me.
S. Sherry or something.
I know who it is.
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
She doesn't get to go to California, does she?
I'm going to be taking the papers to LA.
Just want to double check.
Yeah.
Maybe hand delivered, I'm pretty
You'll
sure.
watch our travel budget here.
Yeah.
So one of the motions is to authorize the purchase of the property for the Tushy Branch Library. A second motion is to approve the purchase and sale agreement that I sent to you, which I signed. The third one is to approve the voucher for the, I said earnest money, but I'm sorry. It's the whole amount. There's no earnest money, it's just the total
The
price.
voucher.
Yeah, my mistake.
All right.
And then the last action is a resolution, which I did this time, they kind of want one last time, naming Carol as the signer. So, those are the,
There's 5 motions, or there's,
the other two motions,
so we're just doing the first
Are
3?
different.
you're doing the first 4. And the 5th one goes
We haven't
under
got
new
there yet.
business.
This is a different,
That's a different motion.
Okay,
different item.
all right.
Okay.
I'm just doing number 1, I don't.
Since
you're doing
Tom,
number
I
since,
move, what, go.
I was going to say, since Tom lives in Tushy, I think it would be
Oh.
fitting that,
All right.
that
There you go.
Okay, Tom, you get to be
Yeah,
one.
you can
he
do
gets
one.
to do one.
Yep, I'll do it.
I move that the Rural Library District purchase the adjacent parcels of land in Tushy, Washington, namely parcel number 3307, 345, 40317, and parcel number 3307, 345, 40318, also known as lots 5 and 6 in Block 3 of Hanson's addition to the town of Tushy, Washington, for the sum of $70,000 for the purpose of building a new branch library.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Rural Library District purchase the adjacent parcels of land in Tushy, Washington, namely parcel 3307345400317 and parcel number 3307345400318, also known as lots 5 and 6 in Block 3 of Hanson's addition to the town of Tushy, Washington, for the sum of $70,000 for the purpose of building a new branch library. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ready for 2?
Yes, please.
I move that the real estate purchase and sale agreement between Sharon L. Knudsen, owner, and Walla County Rural Library District be approved, that interim director Alita Bonebrake work with the seller and the land title of Walla County to prepare for completion of the sale.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the real estate purchase and sale agreement between Sharon Knudsen, owner, and Walla Walla County Rural Library District be approved, that interim director Aletha Bonebreak work with the seller, and land title of Walla Walla County to prepare for completion of the sale. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move a motion to approve voucher payment for purchase of the property in Tushy. I move that the district's claim number 288 be approved to be paid from the district's capital expenditures fund, line 62-0300, in the amount of $70,479.16 to land title of Walla Walla County, to be held in
Escrow.
escrow. Did you say you didn't want it in escrow?
It's in escrow until she signs.
Okay, to be held in escrow to meet the full purchase price of the $70,000 as stated in the real estate purchase and sale agreement, and the costs of $479.16 for the title insurance as listed by land title document file 36176. And that if there are any additional closing costs, the board authorizes a district claim for payment for that amount to land title be made before the next board meeting with the signature of 3 trustees in anticipation of closing date prior to the May 13th board meeting.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that district's claim number 288 be approved to be paid from the district's capital expenditures fund, line 62-0300, in the amount of $70,000, I'll reword that, $70,479.16 to land title of Walla Walla County to be held in escrow to meet the full purchase price of $70,000 as stated in the real estate purchase and sale agreement, and the costs of $479.16 for title insurance as listed by land title document file number 36176. And that if there are any additional closing costs, the board authorizes a district claim for payment for that amount to land title be made before the next board meeting with the signatures of 3 trustees in anticipation of a closing date prior to the May 13th board meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We're up to the next one? Okay, I move to adopt resolution 2013-2, authorizing Carol Peterson on behalf of the district, all documents presented by land title of Walla Walla County, agent of record for closing the purchase of property by the district from Sharon Knutson for the Tushy Branch Library project.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2013-2, authorizing Carol Peterson to sign on behalf of the district all documents presented by land title of Walla Walla County, agent of record for closing the purchase of property by the district from Sharon L. Knutson for the Tushy Branch Library project. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like we
Very good.
buying a bank.
We got it.
It's
That
usually the other way
will be our
around.
last property. That is our last property. That has to be.
That has to be our last property.
I want to congratulate the board on a successful year of acquiring property. Every one of them is great.
Well, we've
Every
had
one of them.
good direction, guidance.
Well, we've had a really good mentor in our architect as well.
Yes, he's been
Yes,
very good.
yes, yes.
Very fortunate, so. Okay.
Okay, new business.
Okay. I did not email this to you in advance, but I have included it in your packet. It's a job posting for executive director, and it's you can read it through. But what I want to say is, I think the time has come again, now that we have gotten to this point of equilibrium, to begin the director search again. It unfortunately is a process that takes some time, which is why this is the time to start it again. Now that we don't have any real stressful issues afoot, I would like to post this job basically the way I've described it, and you can look through it because I want you to see what you think of it. But my idea is to post it shortly, to have the job posting close out the 4th week of May, stating that that we will give first consideration to those who have returned applications by that time. And then it takes a few weeks to sift through and a few more weeks to make appointments and get people, if there are any suitable ones, for interview. If there are no suitable ones, we have to reevaluate, because it's vitally important that you get someone with all these skills. And the price is good, and you should be able to get somebody with the spirit and the skills to do the job. And then it'll take, let's see, that gets us to, I don't know, possibly late June, mid-June, late June. If we can identify
Right.
someone.
Yeah.
Or at least by late June or the 1st of July, a person may have to give some notice, so we're really not sure how that's going to work. And there needs to be some kind of overlap just to make sure the person is focused on what we're doing. Although clearly a person who has the experience we're requiring and who has been in a role similar to this will pick up on it pretty quickly. So it's not like we're getting a neophyte and training them in everything.
Right.
We expect this person to be able to get on board once they get the unique things about this district that they need to know. And so you'll notice here, if you've had a chance to read through it, not only the MLS, but I said or equivalent, and that means really, and I don't know, I defer to Chris here because I know there are IMLSs now and MLISs, and so when I say or equivalent, should I just not say that?
I would not say that.
That's what I thought. Not say that, and they can say
MLS,
is an
people will figure
MLS.
out just fine.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll think, well, I'm just, yeah, okay. See,
Okay.
she's my mentor. So it will not say or equivalent. It will be an MLS, but
I
it
mean,
could.
5 years of herding sheep
Well, that at least that's right.
is not gonna come
Oh, you don't have
across.
a copy of that, do you?
It's the
handed
MLS.
So I'm going to read it, if you don't mind. That way everybody can hear it if you want me to.
That's fine.
Do you want me to or not?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Board of Trustees of Walla Walla County Rural Library District is seeking a spirited leader with a deep commitment to rural library services to serve as its executive director. The Walla Walla County Rural Library District was established in 1973 with a permanent tax base and has authority of a municipal corporation under Washington state law. Its 5 trustees are appointed by the county commissioners to 5-year terms each and operate completely independently of the county commission. The district is currently engaged in a district-wide $5.3 million building program, which includes a new central library and administrative center in suburban Walla Walla, and expansion and construction of facilities in 3 rural communities. The district operates with 14.68 FTE among 5 branches, with annual tax revenues of $1.1 million per year. The successful candidate will have an MLS degree from an ALA accredited program, 5 years progressively responsible administrative experience in public libraries, expertise in staff deployment and management operations, the ability to work with community leaders, experience in public budgeting, and proven skill in managing budgets. This is a very desirable position for an energetic mid-career administrator with a high philosophical commitment to free public library service. Flexibility to apply these principles in a changing information environment, and the ability to inspire and sustain a teamwork approach in achieving success. And then I described the community Walla Walla area of eastern Washington state as set among the rolling wheat fields and new vineyards. It has reached national recognition as a wine growing region, boasts a community college named top in the nation by winning the 2013 Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence, and is the home of Whitman College, ranked 43rd among liberal arts colleges in the United States. The city of Walla Walla, with a population of 31,000, has beautiful historic buildings and modern cultural ambiance.
You might want to include Walla Walla University.
Yes.
Since you've
Sure,
mentioned-
happy to
But
do
you
that.
check the other 2.
The what?
You name check the other 2. You should. They've got good stuff too.
I will. It just
She's just telling you what's in
Slipped my
Walla
mind.
Walla.
Yeah.
It just slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salary offered is $63,378 with 5 annual 5% step increases on top of 1% annual COLI across the board for all staff, and excellent health and retirement benefits. Applications received by May 24th, 2013 will receive first consideration, but the position is open until filled. To learn more about the library district, the community it serves, and how to apply, please visit our website, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, for second paragraph, it says Walla Walla Country. There's an R.
Okay,
Just a typo.
yeah, thank you. And we'll add the
The
university.
kind the spelling checker doesn't find.
What?
The kind the spelling checker doesn't find.
Right, because it is.
Because it is a word.
And where are you posting this on?
Everywhere.
Website.
On the,
Yeah.
No,
it-
I mean.
for the library,
Well, it'll go on
Library.
the,
ALA?
ALA.
we're gonna look at ALA and see what it costs,
Okay.
maybe. But if you go to the regional ones, you usually, capture a wide enough net.
Okay.
Chris may have some thoughts on that too, but some of them are free, and people looking for these jobs pretty much look everywhere. So, ALA is kind of expensive,
Okay.
but we might do it. And then we'll have to talk about whether we're going to offer any kind of, recompense for any travel costs if we, if we're really turned on by somebody, but that's down the road, actually.
Okay, so what is the process once you start getting applications and who looks at them?
I think the board should be the search committee,
We do.
Okay, that's what
and you can enlist any help you want. If you want to reduce your number to a pre-search committee of a few with input from the staff, the management team, you might want to do that. But when it comes to the interviews, you're going to want to work as a board with the help of your staff. Because staff can see things that are kind of nuances that you might not pick up. But you all need to be on that decision-making board. It's a really huge decision.
Oh, yes.
Here. So, it's kind of long, and I could cut it down with a teaser maybe, and put the rest behind it on our website. But you'll notice the language is kind of different, kind of special. There's all the ones that come out just talk about high energy this, and have this experience and so on. But I've been really specific about rural and about budgeting and so on, because I want people to be able to see themselves in this role and know that we're not just generically looking for somebody, but they really, really, really need to have these qualities.
Yeah.
Can you think of any qualities to add specifically?
No, I really like that you emphasize the rural because it's different than what a lot of people are looking for in a job, so it's important to have it right out there. That said, in the description of the area being served, I would like to see us highlight the county and the characteristics of the county in a larger way, because we've described Walla Walla as a city,
Yeah.
but not the county.
True,
That's a good
but
point.
they'll be living
Well,
in there, but
But the area
Maybe.
we're
Right.
serving, I think we
you
need
will
to-
help me with that.
We'll be
Yeah.
happy to.
I thought so. I threw this together.
I just-
Johnny, come
Well, I
on.
thought it was
And you're right.
pretty well done, that's what.
Yeah, but you could say the Walla Walla
It's
County.
Right.
Is-
Right, because, and I did have in here Burbank on the Columbia River, and I said,
I know,
I
'cause
said
you
all
don't-
that, and then I cut it out because it was getting so long.
It's okay.
Well, good,
I
I'm
live
glad
in
you
the
didn't cut it too
county.
far, we'll just pull it
Yeah,
right back in.
but
Because
put it
you were
back in.
Even though they're
back.
I
crawling
did,
toward
and I
me.
talked about Tushie and Prescott.
Yeah, I
and
think
all
that's
of that,
good.
and how long they've been in business. But we might put that behind the
Believe
scenes.
those people.
Okay.
Figured out a cost
And
of
even how
something.
the board is set up and all that could be behind the scenes if you're trying
It
to
could-
cut
it
it. I
could-
mean, you could
well-
put it in there, but
I want them to know that they have the authority,
yeah.
and I want them to know that the budget is
Big.
solid.
Yeah.
And it's
And-
really important that they be skilled in financial management.
Absolutely.
Because this is not all library jobs would be this much money.
This is an administrative job.
Right.
And we've got staff. There's an MLS. There's an MLS. Whatever.
What the heck? Okay, what is an MLIS?
It's just the way they worded it, military,
Military.
sorry, I'm so tired right now. Masters of Library and Information Science. That's just
A
the way
library
they
and
word it now.
And
That's what they
information
do.
science.
That's the
Okay.
way they word it now at Drexel iSchool.
Yeah.
Probably because it's called iSchool.
It's called the I.
For, the internet.
And how is the education for that different from an MLS?
Well, that I can't really tell you. That's why I think it's just the new wording for
It's
it.
just where they're heading.
Well, but they're talking more about technology.
So, yes, they are talking more
Less
about
cataloging and more online electronics.
Although I did take cataloging
You would
classes
have to
I was
because
in
of the indexing concept.
Right.
But really, it's just keeping the skills up to date with how libraries are. But the principles are the same.
And anyone with an MLIS that would be interested and would like to and have the background for this job would know that they can apply, This
Exactly.
is basically the same as an MLS.
Yeah. And they would
You
know
just
that.
don't have to spell it out on there.
Right, so when they ask for a bachelor's, it doesn't matter if it's a BA or BS or any of that,
Right.
you already know that you have that degree.
Yeah, that
Right.
level of education.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so with a little bit of plumping out and putting a little bit behind the scenes, but I want to attract people too. So I want a good bit of it out there. But when I have gathered together over the months and months and months, a lot of recruitment job postings for a director position in libraries of our size and also a little bit bigger. And honestly, they're just blah, 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 blah.
Well, this
They're all the
explains it well, I think, Aletha.
So I want to attract that very special person. So we'll move forward with it,
Okay.
and then the next thing, of course, has to do with what we're going to do with me.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, did you want to identify a smaller committee to work with the management team on this or not? Or do you want to just all do it all at once when we get some stuff in?
Are you talking about
Are you
I
talking
think it'd
about
be nice to look
At all.
at the beginning, to look at it, and then maybe decide.
Let's see how
Okay.
big it becomes.
Let's do.
Okay. Always have a
We're
work
all
session
anxious to
going.
see what's out
Yeah.
there.
And I really think we need that much time because that's really only a month, honestly. It's
Okay.
terrible.
We don't want to rush into that.
Oh, no, that's gonna be done, we're gonna have a rate.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so.
We'll talk about your district facilities project manager.
Yes, this is the very last thing. I have written up a resolution which puts into language what I offered at an earlier meeting. And I'm gonna, I don't know, did I give you this?
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
Oh,
we have
you
it.
read it.
We've
And
read
we've
it.
read it.
Okay, no problem. So if you have any questions on it, if you have anything to add, I can very easily add it. I've put both Carol's signature and my signature on it because I'm promising things and the board's promising things. So I wanted to officially authorize myself as the facilities project manager, working with our liaison, Sandra Bradley, in order to take the burden of the construction management off the shoulders of the new director, to work with our architect, our contractors, and all the rest of those people to monitor it. And all I'm asking for that is mileage when you authorize it. In other words, if I make 20 trips and you say that's 15 too many, fine, no problem. You know, you can pay me for 5, I don't care. And as far as any compensation, I'm gonna log my hours so you know what it takes. If there's beaucoup money left in the construction budget, in contingency or something at the end, you can calculate a rate and you can give me what you wish, if you wish. That's why I have to sign it too, because I'm not holding the board responsible for anything. But I spent 1.5 years at this, and I just really care about
You
it.
wanna raise your baby for free?
And what,
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's what?
You wanna raise your baby for free?
Yeah, that's exactly, well, don't we always, yeah. I want to make sure that,
Well, she's been pregnant for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, the birth of this
40
thing
years.
is, yeah,
it's been a long
Yes, we
pregnancy.
understand.
yes.
And,
But
and we will be true to you if there is something.
I
Right,
know,
I'm sure.
I
right.
know
But
you
I
will.
think it takes a lot of pressure off of hiring a new person.
Well, that's the point.
Oh, Lord,
I
I
mean, it makes
Yeah.
it so that
I can't
we,
imagine saying,
to
and
try
by
and,
the
I mean,
way,
how many months have you been learning this, what?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is very
Wow.
generous of you, thank you.
Sure, and I will work with the new director and not cut the new director out. It's just that between Sandra and me on the ad hoc committee, we can help direct it and feed what needs to be fed to the director, to the board, and do the legwork.
I think it's a very good
No, I think it's a great
solution
idea.
for
It'd be
us.
silly not to do this. Okay, so who's doing that?
So, that's a resolution.
I'll make
To
a
read that
motion.
sucker. It's a resolution.
I move to adopt resolution 2013-3, authorizing Aletha Bonebrake to act as facilities project manager on behalf of the Rural Library District until the facilities development program is completed or her services are no longer needed or desired. Bonebrake does not expect or require compensation to assume this role under the completion of her service as interim executive director.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 2013-3, authorizing Aletha Bonebrake to act as Facilities Project Manager on behalf of the Rural Library District until the Facilities Development Program is completed or her services are no longer needed or desired. Bonebrake does not expect or require compensation to assume this role upon the completion of her service as Interim Executive Director. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ooh, we have a Facilities Project Manager.
And I have to say
We have
that
to sign on it.
whenever we see Ruth Metz, we need to thank her again.
Yes.
For sending Aletha to us, the angel.
It's been a kick in the pants.
Well, that's good to know.
What can I say?
That's
What
good
can
to
I
know.
say? Well,
I can agree with my volunteer work.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, this has to be signed by Carol, and this is making you the signer for the property. So, and you're the chair, so I'm having you sign it, but I'm also having Andrea sign it.
As a witness?
Well, yeah,
As
because
a vice
otherwise you
chair.
could just be running off with all the money.
That's right.
Yeah, that's likely.
Okay, our next meeting is scheduled for May 13th. Are we moving around the county?
Up to you.
We'd have,
I'm
Prescott's
missing yet
turn.
another Little League game, as I did tonight. Yeah, 13.
Aw.
I know. What are you gonna do? Got piano in.
yeah,
You can only do so much.
well, research has proven that.
Tushy and Prescott are easier for me, obviously, than Walla.
Okay, so Prescott's,
This one mine?
I think, a good place to have our next meeting.
It's gonna be warm enough
How about
for
a
us to
Prescott?
sit in the living room.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Prescott then?
Prescott,
Prescott it is.
Prescott.
because it's
No, this
Monday
will be
and they
no,
won't be
but
open, so it'll be fine.
That's true,
Yeah,
that's good.
okay.
Here, okay. And,
But the Tux is closed, so you can't eat
Oh,
hamburger.
doggone it.
bummer.
Yeah, they're closed Monday.
Okay. Under announcements, this is National Library Week. If you go on to ala.org, there are some neat little advertising clips featuring a variety of people across the country that are pretty neat and talking about their experiences growing up with libraries and how it's impacted their life. And it's pretty slick. Caroline Kennedy's like a, well, what do you call her?
Spokesperson?
Well, yeah,
Poster child.
yeah, poster child. And she has some nice things to say also on there. And so I do one domestic thing annually. And I made some cupcakes today, but I don't like icing. Oh, so there's no icing on them, but I have whipped cream.
Ooh.
Oh,
The light colored are spice, the dark color are devil's food.
Yum.
So
Thank you.
please, I do not expect to take any of those home with me. In fact, I'm not going to. They're going to stay. Right?
Impressed.
Oh, there's children here.
I know. that'll get those done up. So, if there are no further announcements, meeting's adjourned.
All right.